Let's show off a little. You're about to witness a parade of beast machines cooking up something insanely rich and delicious. No, it's not just any candy, it's your beloved Bounty Bar, bursting with that iconic tropical coconut filling. Imagine shredded coconut mixed with sweetened condensed milk and other mystery ingredients, transforming into a velvety filling that's sweet, chewy, and almost impossible to resist. Once blended, the mixture is flattened and shaped into perfect bar portions by conveyor belts and portioning machines that operate like clockwork. These clever tools keep everything aligned, portioned, and spaced out so the bars don't stick together as they journey toward the real chocolatey action. Then comes the moment that could melt any chocolate lover's heart. A river of rich, glossy melted chocolate awaits. A line supervisor, let's call her Madame Eagle Eyes, watches every coconut bar like a hawk before it dives into this luscious chocolate bath. And trust me, unless you can prove you've had more chocolate than me, I might still win the title of biggest chocolate fan. But hey, what's your wildest chocolate moment? Drop it in the comments, seem all ears. Meanwhile, the bars take their luxurious chocolate dip and head off to a carefully monitored cooling zone. This cooling step is crucial. It locks the chocolate coating in place, gives it that iconic snap, and makes sure it sticks to the coconut core like a dream. Once set, each piece is inspected. If it doesn't meet the gold standard, it's out. Only perfection is allowed into those shiny wrappers now. Let's change gears for a second and dive into something you probably didn't expect: salted duck egg yolks. These little golden orbs are essential in East Asian cuisine and mooncake season, but they start out as humble duck eggs. First, workers carefully inspect each egg to ensure it's fresh and intact before immersing it in a salty brine for up to 10 days. During this time, the salt gradually seeps through the shell, firming up the yolk while intensifying its flavor. Once the yolks are cured, the whites are often collected separately for other uses. The yolks are vacuum sealed for freshness and quality, ready to be shipped and tucked neatly inside luxurious mooncakes that find their way to bakeries around the globe. Speaking of bakery goodies, frozen pizza is the unsung hero of weeknight dinners and last-minute parties. There's no shame in pulling one out of the freezer, unwrapping it, and letting the oven do the heavy lifting. Behind the scenes, factories are pumping out hundreds of frozen pizzas every hour using layers of quality ingredients. From hand-stretched dough to rich tomato sauce and real mozzarella, these pizzas are built to impress and last. Long shelf life? Check. Delicious enough to fool your guests into thinking it's homemade? Double check. Whether you're throwing a movie night or just craving something cheesy at 2 a.m., frozen pizza has your back. Now, have you ever crunched into a real Italian cannoli shell? Those golden brown crispy tubes are basically edible happiness. Watching them get made is mesmerizing. The dough is rolled paper thin, cut into ovals, wrapped around metal molds, and deep fried until they puff into airy light vessels with that irresistible crunch. Despite their texture, these shells are surprisingly delicate and light, a perfect balance that lets the creamy filling shine. The best part? You can stuff them with anything from sweet ricotta to Nutella to mascarpone, and when finished, with a drizzle of chocolate spray. Absolute heaven. Let's not forget burgers. The foundation of every great burger patty is quality ground beef. Cuts like chuck, brisket, and sirloin are favored for their juicy fat content and rich flavor. Meat processing facilities grind and shape thousands of perfectly proportioned patties each day to ensure every burger hits the grill evenly. Whether you're into smash burgers or thick, juicy classics, the perfect patty starts with the right blend of meat and ends with a whole lot of sizzle. Meanwhile, across the globe, Korea is cooling down with a dessert you've got to try: shaved ice with watermelon. This summer staple pairs delicate flakes of ice with chunks of sweet watermelon and other tropical fruits. It's light, refreshing, and practically made for heat waves. It's also a killer Instagram post, just saying. Now, here's something satisfying to watch. High-speed industrial cheese spreaders working their magic on pizzas. Now, these machines are calibrated to the millimeter to ensure cheese lands evenly across every inch of dough. You get perfect melt, perfect pull, every single time. If you're running a pizzeria or large food operation, these machines are the key to consistency and wow factor. Back in the chocolate zone, remember that man whose only job is to spread cocoa beans evenly on an elevator? Sounds simple, but it's critical. These beans are carried up to separators where the shells are stripped and the precious cocoa nibs are collected. Grinding begins next, and there's nothing quite like the satisfaction of watching cocoa beans crushed into a paste. So smooth, it gleams. From there, melted chocolate is filtered through ultra-fine sieves, then poured into bean-shaped molds, the beginning of your favorite Smarties. These chocolate sheets are cooled and transported across belts, separated carefully so each bean maintains its round, glossy finish. They roll through drums to shave off excess chocolate and lock in that signature shape. Tiny nozzles drop perfect bits of chocolate into molds, which are cooled again and gathered for coating. Each color-coded chamber adds its own flair, whether it's orange, grape, lemon, or cherry. Once dried, the candy-coated shells are tumbled in drums where a blend of cocoa butter, sugar, and milk powder gives them that shiny, crunchy finish. Those little chocolate beans then face their final test shape and size. Only the perfectly shaped Smarties make it past the inspection deck. Believe it or not, around 70,000 to 80,000 pounds of Smarties are made every day, and just 2 factories make them all. That's right, your favorite bite-sized chocolate. Joy comes from just 2 magical locations that work day and night to meet global demand. The packing line is another marvel. Machines rapidly fill 500-gram packs of Smarties while robotic arms seal and label them with mind-blowing precision. One worker neatly arranges the tubes, making sure they're all aligned before heading into the autofill zone. You blink and and they're filled, sealed, and stacked without missing a beat. It's like watching choreography but with chocolate. And finally, let's not forget gummy bears. That cute little pouch that cooks up the chewy, jiggly, colorful bears you've been snacking on since childhood. It all starts with a hot, syrupy mixture of gelatin, sugar, glucose, and flavorings. Once blended to perfection, the liquid is poured into bear-shaped molds, cooled and dusted before packaging. One bite and you note sweet nostalgia in candy form. Ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite sweet treats? The candies, cupcakes, gummies, and snacks that fill our shelves don't just appear by magic. They're the result of high-speed machines, clever design, and food tech. Wizardry that transforms simple ingredients into mouth-watering masterpieces. Whether it's bear-shaped jellies molded with precision or chocolate-covered puff bars sliced to perfection, the journey from factory line to your taste buds is one of the most visually satisfying and surprisingly complex spectacles you'll ever witness. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into the world of industrial food production where efficiency meets deliciousness in every frame. Let's start with something small, but mighty, those squishy bear-shaped gummies that everyone seems to love. Before they get their chewy texture and vibrant colors, each gummy starts as a molten mixture cooked to sweet perfection. Using molds pressed into trays filled with cornstarch, the factories create adorable bear shapes just waiting to be filled. Once the sugary mix is ready, it's poured into these molds and chilled until it solidifies into the perfect chewy consistency. Though these little gummies originated in Japan, their cuteness and addictive flavor quickly took over the globe, winning hearts and sweet tooths from Los Angeles to Tokyo. Now, if you've ever had one of those thick, chocolate-coated smoothie bars, you'll appreciate the next scene. Picture puffed cereal beads drenched in layers of creamy chocolate so thick you can practically hear the crunch. Machines work in perfect rhythm to align all the ingredients into consistent sheets. Those sheets are then guided through a series of rollers, slicers, and stampers that trim them into neatly shaped bars. Every step is precisely timed, from the chocolate flow to the cutting blade strike. The result? A satisfyingly rich, sweet treat that could be the highlight of your next snack break, for those who love a sugar rush. But don't want a mess. Individually wrapped candies are where the magic happens. First, the candies are crafted with a mix of color, flavor, and crunch, sometimes containing little sugar crystals that look like tiny snowflakes suspended in golden toffee. These candies roll down the conveyor in massive batches, each one quickly grabbed by a mechanical arm that twists a shiny wrapper around it in milliseconds. Watching the machine work in slow motion is oddly soothing, but when it switches to full speed, it becomes a blur of efficiency. Wrapping thousands of candies per hour, ready to be boxed, shipped, and devoured. Speaking of eye candy, nothing beats the visual appeal of colorful sprinkles raining down on freshly glazed donuts. It's not just about taste, it's about the full sensory experience. These donuts roll along the line, receiving their sugary glaze and colorful decoration in one seamless process. Some machines even create spiral patterns or drizzle chocolate in intricate designs that turn an ordinary donut into an edible piece of art. Right next to them, mountains of cupcakes rise on trays, topped with swirling towers of frosting. Whether you're planning a birthday party or crashing a family gathering, cupcakes are the undisputed showstoppers. And when you see just how many are made at once, hundreds rolling past every few minutes, you might wonder how many you could eat in one sitting. Still hungry? Let's take a walk through the savory side of factory-made food. Crushed candies, jams, creams, and even custards are carefully pumped, scooped, and spread with mechanical precision. Every scoop feels like a burst of flavor waiting to happen. These bite-sized wonders are designed to be convenient, consistent, and absolutely delicious. And yes, just because they're tiny doesn't mean they're light on flavor. Whether you're grabbing a fruit-filled tart or a jam-packed mini pie, these sweets deliver in both punch and portion. On the production line, even the most basic foods are elevated through industrial magic. Take oranges, for instance. They're machine-picked from orchards around the globe, California, Italy, Spain, and funneled through sorting systems that scan their color, size, and firmness. Each one is checked for blemishes, then gently packed for distribution. The same goes for tomatoes, which are sorted not just by size, but also by hue. Using smart vision tech to separate every fruit by ripeness and color, so they end up in exactly the right product. And then there are the machines that make life easier, like those that peel onions without shedding a single tear. If you've ever cried while chopping onions, you'll love these smart peelers that whip through pounds of onions in minutes, leaving nothing but clean, ready-to-cook slices. Conveyor belts handle the rest, moving everything from greens to meats with seamless coordination. Watching a salad assembly line is like witnessing a ballet of ingredients. Lettuce, cucumbers, carrots, and cheese fall into trays like they were choreographed to do so perfectly portioned and presentation. Meanwhile, cheese gets its own moment in the spotlight. Whether it's shredded, cubed, or thinly sliced, machines deliver consistent texture and thickness with almost surgical accuracy. Some slicers produce slices so perfectly even, you'd think they were laser cut. And yes, there's something deeply mesmerizing about watching blocks of cheddar turn into tidy stacks ready for burgers, sandwiches, or charcuterie boards. If you're into condiments, here's a scene you'll love: sauces like mayo, mustard, and dressings being dispensed with pinpoint accuracy onto buns, sandwiches, or salads. These nozzles know exactly how much to pour, so every bite has just the right amount of flavor without the mess. Over in the bottling section, Machines apply shrink-wrapped labels and use hot air sealers to make sure every bottle is tamper-proof and retail-ready. Ever watched meat slices move through a packaging line like mini airport luggage? Each portion gets its own disc-shaped carrier, which transports it from slicing to wrapping without human contact. It's hygienic, fast, and oddly fascinating to watch. Tomatoes, blueberries, and even pre-cooked chicken go through similar systems, all organized by robotic arms that reduce human error and ramp up speed. Even sandwiches. Those humble lunchbox heroes get the royal treatment. Layers of sliced meat, cheese, lettuce, and sauces are stacked in seconds, pressed into shape, and sealed up for stores or delis. Every ingredient is measured, sliced, and placed with consistency that even a five-star chef might envy. And what about olive oil? Extra virgin olive oil is more than just a salad dressing. It's a golden elixir loaded with heart-healthy fats and antioxidants. Machines extract it with care, using cold-press methods that preserve its nutrients while filtering out unwanted particles. The end result: a rich, smooth oil ready to drizzle over your meals or mix into your next vinaigrette. Let's not forget the chocolate. From silky truffles to crunchy bars, chocolate manufacturing is a dreamscape for the sweet tooth. Melted chocolate is tempered, poured, molded, and cooled to glossy perfection before being wrapped and boxed. Watching the process feels like a scene out of Willy Wonka's factory, but way more real. Whether you're watching citrus fruits being sorted, onions peeled without a tear, donuts decorated like artwork, or sandwiches assembled with flawless precision, these machines are the unsung heroes behind every snack aisle and bakery display. They bring us joy, convenience, and a reminder of just how much engineering goes into the food we often take for granted. So, the next time you unwrap a piece of candy, spread jelly on your toast, or bite into a perfectly layered sandwich, remember you're tasting not just the ingredients, but the innovation, precision, and creativity that brought it to life. If this peek inside the world of food machines amazed you, stay tuned. There's a whole world of flavor being built behind factory doors. One perfectly sliced, sprinkled, and wrapped bite at a time.